What is up, guys? We're the Aquaza16 here, and in this video we are going to be using Escav in Open Great League. I actually like this Pokemon a lot because it only has one weakness, even though it's neutral to a lot of other typings, but that's okay. My opponent leads with Alolan Ninetales. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to build up to the Sludge Wave, but I'm actually going to bait. I time the charm here so Alolan Ninetales can't sneak in another charm, and I'm going to let this Hydro Cannon go off here. They're going to shield. Great. I'm actually going to shield this Weather Ball here so that they'll either faint or they're going to be forced to use two shields. So I'm able to get to the Sludge Wave, which is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and use Sludge Wave here. They're going to shield. Great. So I'm going to let Swampert go down here. Now what I can do is I can bring in Escav, and I can either farm or get to the draw run. Okay, Azu. So this is a bad matchup for Escav, so I actually switch over to Hypno so I can spam Thunder Punch. Alright, so they're going to use Play Rough. I can let this go with no issue whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and use this Thunder Punch here, since it's super effective, since Azu is part water. Now I can go ahead and get to this other Thunder Punch here. I'm actually able to get to it before it uses Play Rough. Great. So this is definitely going to take Azu to the red HP. Now it's going to use Play Rough. So I can actually let this go. So Azu uses Play Rough. I try to get to the Thunder Punch, but we actually both go down simultaneously. So at this point, I can just bring in Escavailer. I'm going to go ahead and get to this Mega Horn here for huge damage on this Politoed. Ooh, that does a lot. So I can actually farm down here. I'm actually able to sneak a counter through. Great. So they're going to go ahead and use Weather Ball. No problem. I can just shield that up easily. And I'm able to farm down. Oh, they actually swap out. That's okay too. They're going to go ahead and use Weather Ball as well with their Ninetales, which I resist since it's the Ice Weather Ball. I'm going to go ahead and build up a ton of energy here, and I'm going to throw this Drill Run, which will definitely knock out the Alolan Ninetales. So down it goes. Now I can just use Drill Run again, just in case Politoed has another Weather Ball ready to go. And down goes Politoed, and that is going to be a good game. In battle number 2, my opponent leads with Umbreon. This is a horrible matchup for Shadow Swampert, as Umbreon can beat Shadow Swampert into 2 shields. This Umbreon is running Pursuit. Interesting. They swap into Altaria. This is pretty bad, so I am forced to use Mega Horn here for maximum damage, since it does way more than Drill Run on Altaria. So I realize that I'm probably screwed here, so I just let this go. And now what I can do is bring in Hypno and just take it down with Thunder Punch. Plus that confusion damage does a lot as well. I'm going to go ahead and let the Sky Attack go since I'm neutral, and plus Hypno is a very bulky Pokemon, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and use Thunder Punch here. And what they do is they actually let it go. That's okay. That's one less Swampert counter. So now they're going to bring in Umbreon as expected. And at this point, all I can really do is just spam Hydro Cannon. I gotta be careful though, because this can beat both Swampert and Hypno. I'm gonna go ahead and get to this Hydro Cannon here, and what they do is they actually shield. Okay, that's some progress, but I still don't think I'm gonna be able to pull this off, but we'll see. So I'm actually gonna get to the other Hydro Cannon, and they shield. Okay, so they're down 2 shields. What I do here is I actually shield myself so I can get some chip damage off on this Umbreon. It's kind of all I can do at this point. They're going to swap to Registeel. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the Hypno here. Now the plan here is I'm going to shield up whatever move it throws, likely a Zap Cannon, which is exactly what it is. I'm going to go ahead and use Shadow Ball. That way I can get some chip damage off, and then I can just take this down with Swampert. So at this point, I can just allow Registeel to take my Hypno out, which I'm perfectly fine with. They're going to go ahead and use their charge move, and they use Focus Blast. Now I can get to this first Hydro Cannon on Registeel, and I can get it close to fainting, and at this point I can just farm it down. And what I do is I try to prevent him from sneaking in another fast move, and he sneaks it in, unfortunately. If that wouldn't have happened, I definitely would have won this, but that is a good game. Moving on to battle number 3, my opponent leads with Azu. Swampert actually can beat Azu, but it depends on baiting usually, at least in my experience. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the Sludge Wave here and just hope they let it go. And they let it go! That does a ton of damage. So I can just easily let this first charge move go through, no problem at all. At this point, I can just get to Hydro Cannon, because at this point, it's going to knock out the Azu if it goes unshielded. They're going to shield, that's fine. So I can just swap out here, so I can say Swampert as a potential sack swap. And Azu is about to go down here if they don't swap out. They don't swap out, okay, that's fine. So down goes Azu. In comes Bast. Now this is pretty good because Escavailer with shields absolutely beats the hell out of Bastiodon. I'm going to go ahead and use Shadow Ball here for maximum damage. And I'm going to try and get to this other Shadow Ball now, but that's okay, and I'll get to it. I'm going to go ahead and let the Stone Edge go through, which I barely survive, but still, I'm okay with it taking me out. I'm going to go ahead and let my switch timer run, and now I'm going to bring in Escavailer. Since I have the shield advantage, I can easily just farm down. And here comes the Flamethrower. So I have to shield, since Escavailer is very, very weak to fire, being Steel and Bug. In comes Shadow Vic. Perfect. Escavailer is about to go on a rampage. So I'm going to go ahead and use Drill Run. They shield. Now what I can do is get to this other Drill Run. I actually go for Mega Horn here. Probably wasn't necessary, but either way, it's all good now. So I'm going to use Mega Horn. Down goes Shadow Vic. And now... Bye Bastiodon, bye Bastiodon, down it goes. That is a good game. Moving on to battle number 4. My opponent leads with Obstagoon. This is decent. Obstagoon, it depends, but this could go either way, so I'm going to go ahead and stay in. I'm going to get to this Hydro Cannon, which they actually let go. That's fine. So I'm going to let this first Night Slash go through. The only problem here is Shadow Swampert is extremely squishy, so normal Swampert is typically preferred. So I'm going to go ahead and use Hydro Cannon again. I think the only way I'm able to win this matchup is if I shield too, but I'm okay with letting this go. So I'm going to go ahead and let the Goon get to his other charge move here, and down goes Shadow Swamp. I'm able to bring in Escav and easily farm down, since Obstagoon is very weak to fighting, since it's dark and normal. And now what they do is they bring in Skarm. So I'm going to switch to Hypno now, and that way I can just use Thunder Punch, since Skarmory is weak to Electric. I'm going to let this first Sky Attack go through, since again Hypno is bulky and it can tank it with no problem whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and get to this first Thunder Punch here, which is going to do a decent chunk if it doesn't shield, but it shields. That's okay, I have double shield advantage now. I'm going to go ahead and actually shield this Sky Attack now. That way I can get this other Thunder Punch here, and again, get a good chunk since now I can't shield anymore. At this point, I can easily win this matchup, so I'm able to get to the Thunder Punch, and this will take out the Skarm. In comes Nidoqueen. Perfect. Now I can just get to this Drill Run and counter it down, and that way Escav can take this win. So I'm going to go ahead and do just that. They forfeit. That is a good game. Moving on to the final battle. My opponent leads with Bastiodon. Absolutely a beautiful matchup for Swampert. They're going to swap this to Venusaur. I almost said Shadow Vic. But he brings in Venusaur. So now I can just bring in Escav and get to this Drill Run. They're going to shield. That's even better. And I resist Grass pretty well since I am Steel and Bug type. So I'm going to let this first Frenzy Plant go through. That still does a decent chunk since this is Great League, and Escavailer is a little squishier in Great League since it's a lower level than most Pokemon, but it doesn't matter because Vine Whip just does nothing. So again, I'm using Mega Horn here, probably not necessary, but I just think it's funny that down goes Venusaur since it does so much. And now what they're going to do is they're going to bring in Bastiodon. Look how much counter is doing on that thing. My gosh. In comes Victory Bell. Looks like we are facing a grass hole. Not a problem, as they rage quit. And that, my friend, is a good game. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe and like, and I will see you guys later.